Hello and welcome to the final episode of 2019 and of the decade of the Silver Lining. I am your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg. Whatever you have grown comfortable to be calling me these past 2 years, almost with this show and 84 episodes. Man, it has been a while. It has been a while. This has been probably the second longest year ever on record. I think 2018 was probably the longest year ever. I remember towards the end of the year. I actually just saw the post go back around, but it's inaccurate for this year. Towards the end of 2018, there was a post that said, "This has been the longest year ever. Remember Tide Pods?" That was this year. And that post was from last year, from like December of 2018. And I remember reading that and thinking, oh my God, that whole Tide Pod thing was the same damn year. Obviously, it was not this year. But this year was kind of long in its own right. A lot of stuff has gone on. Most of it I won't get into, but it has been a long year. So I wanted to spend today talking about that stuff and, talking about some of the last. Yeah, I remember that post. I remember seeing it Harrow the first time and I thought, oh my God, it really was that year. And then I saw it. I was reminded because the other day somebody sent it around and I was like, okay, the post is actually, that's not true because it's from 2018. So I remember 2018 being like the longest year ever. Oh, the final show. It's sad to see it go. Silver Lining was canceled too soon. Oh no. Not canceled too soon. Not canceled too soon. We just got silver points. We can't cancel it too soon. We got to remember all the good stuff. We got to remember Silver's Nuggets and Crane saying I. We got to remember all the good stuff. Sims Mage, Hero Hyrule, Dragoon Knight, Fox, Aqua, what is going on? Hopefully you all had a good Christmas. I figure that's the first thing we're gonna have to talk about. Oh crap, you know what? I made images for the show and I didn't actually save the images. So I'm going to do that while we chat. Oh, I can't do that. Hold on. Watch the magic. Watch the magic. You ready? I'm gonna do that, and then I can put it in studio mode so I can still tinker with things. So we're still live, I think. Tooth pain again. Never fun. Too. Teeth and headaches. For me, tooth pain and headaches are the worst. They debilitate you through everything. Christmas was fine, but I realized I do not like being in large groups in which I cannot engage. Aqua, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. We like to keep our distance. Cragman, Cream the Rabbit, Mendez, what is going on? Aqua, that's my problem. I don't like large groups where I can't. I feel like an outsider. I've talked about plenty of times before about how I don't like large groups of people, but I love conventions. And people have asked me, what is it about conventions that makes it tolerable? And my problem with my thing is when I go to conventions, I am engaging with people that I am familiar with. I'm able to engage in a hobby that I'm familiar with. If I go to a large scale convention for something else, if I'm at the flower show, every year Philadelphia does this big giant flower show. If I go to a flower show, I won't really know what to talk about. You know what I mean? When I go to gaming conventions, I know that I'm in the realm of my people. So I am submerged in my culture, and I'm okay with that. I was by myself this year for Christmas. I went to see a movie, Knives Out. If you like funny but really good murder mysteries, I highly recommend it. That movie looks funny to me. I questioned some of the casting choices, but I think that's the point of it. Greg, I saw a picture with some of the art stuff I got for Christmas. you saw a picture of some. I would hope you saw a picture of some of the stuff you got for Christmas. I spent a lot of yesterday talking to my Moo 8-year-old cousin about Pokemon and Sonic. Really into trivia. She was really into all the trivia. Similar case when I interact with other members of the Virginia Master Naturalists. At least with the group, I have bases. What is the Virginia Master Naturalists? Now I'm interested. Before we do anything else, there we go. We got to put it in slow mode. I know that a lot of people don't like slow mode, but for the show in particular, slow mode is very important. I hear some of the huge events like the New Year's Ball drop isn't really always cracked up to be. It's Fox. It's a lot of those things. Even some of the larger video game conventions and comic book conventions, like San Diego Comic-Con, a lot of people say the same thing. It is something you want to experience at least once, but most people who do it once don't really want to do it that much anymore. Don't know why my autocorrect thought I was trying to say Saul. Friends, rodents, quadrupeds. I meant to say here. Greg, no. A picture with some of the art stuff I got for Christmas. Yeah. The Virginia Master Naturalist is a volunteer corps in which we help out conserve and scientific research relating the ecosystem of Virginia. Oh, okay. So basically a volunteer group conserving the environment. It's an environmental group for Virginia-based ecosystems. That's actually really cool. That is really cool. Hold on. I'm trying to edit. I forgot to change my topic images. So let's go ahead and add files. Open. Okay, so we're good now. All right. Lend me your ear. She really wants to watch Sonic Underground after I described it to her. Whatever. Mister, let me tell you what you've done. You have taken the proper step to ensuring that the information of our generation is passed on to the next generation. That's what you should be doing. Topic images. Yeah, Mendez, whenever I do discussions, I put topics right here. Or images right here related to the topics, just so that, you pop in and you can sort of clearly see what we're talking about. It also helps me because when I edit the videos, when I cut them up to put them on the YouTube, I don't have to create. I create little stream markers, but I don't have to do that because I can just find where the images start and stop, and then that helps me split it up. But I mostly like it so that, it adds a tiny air of professionalism so that we can, we can pretend we're fancy. Yeah, you can say that. It seems there are other master naturalist programs for each. Well, yeah, Aqua. That's what I mean. Like it's a conservation organization specific to the ecosystem of Virginia is the one that you're in. So there would be one that's specific to the ecosystem of Pennsylvania, and that's actually really interesting. 16 episodes to 100. That puts Shadow, assuming we don't miss too many episodes, that puts episode 100 somewhere around April. That's actually kind of wild. I draw a picture of Derby Peridot. I'm not a fan of Underground at all. Only shows I like are Sat AM and Boom, it seems. I don't think I ever watched any one but those two shows. So my week was okay. It was Christmas week, and Tuesday so what normally happens is Tuesday I go to my family's, and we hang out, and that's like, if you're Hispanic families, Christmas is basically the 24th, and then the 25th is the day that you hang out at home. If you're kids, you play with your toys. If you're parents, you don't do much. You watch the kids play with their toys, and you don't do a whole lot. This year we went to the hospital because my sister has been in the hospital, which she is doing much better now. They actually are moving her out of the hospital today to the rehab center. So physical rehab, not like drug rehab or anything. So she's doing much better. So thank you everybody for all of your support. And hopefully this is the worst of it is over. You know what I mean? Like, she's out of the hospital. If she was still in any kind of serious danger, she would still be in the hospital. So she's out of the hospital, which is fantastic, but it doesn't mean that the work is over. If anything, we're moving on to the more interactive part. You know, when someone's in the hospital, the doctors do all the work. You are there for moral support. You are there to be there for the person, to hold their hand, and when they start talking, to talk to them. And but now it's getting to the point where it is time to really start getting your hands in there and helping. They're going to do a lot of the physical therapy, but you're supposed to help too, and that's important. Gingerman Prime, thank you so much for the invitation to the host club. Hello everybody that's watching through that host. I'm Derpy Parrot, stupid autocorrect. Yes indeed. Also, I do have and Sims Mage, thank you also so much for the invitation to the host club. Hello everybody that might be watching through Sims Mage's host. Also, I do have an idea as I can better interact with my family next year. I think I'm going to have the family do a game in which they talk about themselves and family. That is something I can get behind. Honestly, Aqua, a game that has people interact in that way is usually a good idea, but a lot of people close up against that. Look into just games. Look into board games. Board games tend to be very interactive and tend to loosen people up. There's a reason that a lot of people in their families, they do like family game night, and the reality is that gaming helps people open up a little bit more, and the physical activity. Shadow, thank you also so much for the invitation to the host club. Hello everybody on Shadow's page. The physical activity of gaming, the tabletop aspect of it is very accessible for a lot of people. A lot of the time, it is more accessible than video games. Obviously, we're all about video games here, but there is something about the simplicity of playing a tabletop game, whether it is an older game or something a little more modern, that helps people open up a little bit more. Some of my favorite tabletop games are stuff like Ticket to Ride, but then when you go back and you play stuff like Trouble is the one with the bubble, and and then it would tell you how many spaces you move, and you move your pieces. That's a game I remember as a kid, and the rules are so simple, it's easy for anybody to play it, and that ease makes it more accessible for people. When you take board games and you say, hey everybody, let's play, and you bust out the Weapons and Warriors or some old board game, some old tabletop game that has 1,000 pieces in it, it's really inaccessible to a lot of people. Risk, trying to say, hey, let's have family game night, let's play Risk. That's, you can have a rough game night. I mean, the game's literally about war. Hello, Jeffersonia. It's one of the reasons of Monopoly. Like, people are able to play Monopoly, even though Monopoly is like the Mario Kart of games, of board games where everybody fights. UAC, thank you so much for the 100 bits. No host for me, as I don't stream, and I don't even know how it works. So here's some bits instead. Hosting just means that if somebody was to come to your Twitch channel while you're offline, they would be seeing the stream of whoever you're hosting. Also, remember UAC. For anybody that does not know, we had a couple new additions this week. One of our new additions was actually sort of an addition from last week, which is channel points. If you look below the chat, on your Twitch page, you should see a channel point counter, and what it'll read right next to Gato's face or Gonzalez. Channel points will be accumulated the more you watch and interact. So as you accumulate channel points, there are a few rewards that you can cash in on. So, highlighting your message and unlocking random emotes. So look into those. That's a pretty cool thing. With your 100 bits, you can also interact with the sound. I don't know where it is on your stream, but you can, for 100 bits, you can play a random sound effect that I am able to hear. So if you want to use it to distract me while I'm playing a game, or if you just want to play a funny sound, that's totally okay. What's UAC? UAC is the person who donated 100 bits. And the reason I brought that up, UAC, is because instead of just donating 100 bits, you can use the 100 bits to play a funny sound. And Monopoly can go on for hours. You ever heard the game Kill Dr. Lucky? It's Clue, but you play it in reverse. No, that actually sounds kind of cool. That does sound interesting. Risk is my game. It does take hours though. I've played Risk maybe 3 times, and I'm pretty good at Risk. I like Risk. Who remembers the Game of Life? Yeah, I'm trying to win it now. Well, it's not like I was going to have them play anything too complicated. Yeah, just something more casual, like Trouble, which I have not played in a while. As for the card game, I was thinking it'd be something general that family can reminisce about. Yeah, something like Rummy, or Gin, whatever they call it. For board games, tabletop games, Connect 4. I'm a Connect 4 master, so I think that's a fun game that's very interactive for everybody. But because everybody can watch it, like I think I've always liked Connect 4 for that. Anyone played Sorry? I have not played Sorry or Parcheesi in forever. Someone who likes Advance Wars? I never actually played Risk. I'm kind of shocked that Risk is there's no shock in not playing Risk. Risk is not, it's easy to have not played that game. Have you ever played 4-player chess? No, I used to be good at 2-player chess, but I've never done it with the 4-player mode. I heard Risk can get pretty awkward between players of multiple. I mean, any game, if you're gonna look at it that way. So after playing some Jedi Fallen Order, I've come to realize it's not a bad game. It's pretty good, just not my kind of game. I see what you mean by Risk. My recommendation, if that's going to be the case, would be to play Risk that is based on another land. There's Risk Game of Thrones, for instance, and you run all of the Game of Thrones lands. That's a pretty cool one. Didn't the Switch get a bunch of tabletop stuff? They did, but I haven't tried them yet. And again, the problem with that is that you're still playing a video game, and sometimes that's a little less accessible for people. Catan is my favorite tabletop game, specifically Star Trek Catan. It's one of the... Is it Catan? I always say Catan. One of those games that can last a while. Hero, I have Catan, and I have the family edition of Catan. I got them both at the Goodwill store. I've never played any one of them because I don't know anybody that wants to play Catan. I'm going to invade your country. Yeah. Scrabble is fun until science gets involved with its complex words. Yeah, Scrabble can be a little bit like Scrabble's fine until someone tries to put hentai on the board. Over Christmas, my parents and I played Loteria. Then we kind of got more personal and started talking about each other's flaws and personalities. But it ended with what we appreciate about each other. That's a great way to look at it. Oh my God, Axis and Allies? Yes, Axis and Allies that's the hexagonal movement, right? I remember that game. It had a hexagonal movement base board. I remember in my college's game club, we had a tabletop night once or twice a semester, and there was someone who had this game called Tales of the Arabian Nights. It went on a bit long. It was always a ton of fun because of the situations you can get into. I'm still not used to being called UAC as I'm being called by the game I go by. Oh, okay. Well, I see UAC, so I say UAC. Catan. Catan? Catan or Catan? Catan, like is it TAWN or TAHN? Because you're saying Catan right now, and that just sounds weird. And it's probably because I'm accentuating the ton. I'm not saying Catan, I'm saying Catan. Yeah, I always just said Catan. So Rise of Skywalker. Did not see Rise of Skywalker yet. I know a few things about it as far as spoilers. Don't know, and nobody do any spoilers. But I know a few things about it. But it's I'll say it when I say it. To be honest, I'm so my expectations are so low. I have no drive to go and see it. Fireball Island. The guy who created Access Now is one of my dad's customers. Yeah, I played that game a long time ago. I also broke out the Wii U for the first time in 2 years to play Wii Sports Resort. John Poncho, what's going on? And Zero and everybody else. Hello. Not that stretched out, but yes, that's how I've heard. It's Catan. Wow. I'm gonna keep saying Catan. My new favorite board game is Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. It's honestly a blast if you like Power Rangers at all. Also, awesome miniatures. There's lightsabers in it, probably. I don't know Star Wars. Katana, Chris Catan. I'm in the pro TLJ camp, by the way, about Rise of Skywalker disappointment. It seems opinions on that movie is all over the place. So I don't know. I guess my best holiday memory recently with gaming was when my mom took an interest in me playing Picross, and I informed her I play more than just the stuff she expects. So we gotta play Final Fantasy 2 someday. Someday we'll play Final Fantasy 2 on the Origins disc. We'll play it someday. I think I want to try and pick up a RetroTink 2.0 to upgrade the retro systems appearance on the stream. Final Fantasy 2 or 4? 2. Actual 2. 4 we actually played once on stream, but it was a long time ago. So, wow, it's so weird that I've been streaming so long that we have a long time ago to reference. Where are my buttons there? Okay.